Wasn't sure if I was going to make a video series about this, building a Voron 2.4 revision C from an LDO kit. There are plenty of builds out there by people who know what they're doing. I'm going to be going by guides online as well as the instructions, and I don't have a setup with a nice overhead camera, multiple cameras, etc., etc. So yeah, I wasn't sure whether to make this a video series or not. So what I'm going to do is probably do a couple episodes showing my progress, and then decide whether I want to upload them all or just delete them or keep them for the sake of notes if I ever go back and think I did something wrong. But basically, I'm starting at the beginning here. I have a nice flat piece of countertop. I've got it on my new workbench. I have this that I found on Printables, little hexagonal parts cups. There's a version with 3 in one, and then individual ones, and they slot into each other, so you can add however many you want. I just did these to begin with, and you can see I've got some corner pieces, some of the Allen wrench tools, that screwdriver, that's all came with the kit, plus some additional tools. This is a 1.5 millimeter hex key. Now the kit did come with one of these, but it was smaller. I bought this one at a local hobby store to use on radio controlled cars. So I think it's a larger handle. It seems to me easier to hang on to work with, so I'll be using this instead of the one that came with the kit. And I've got some of the first M5x16 bolts that I need to start putting the extrusions together by adding those to the extrusions, and other pieces will go on the end. Through videos, I got one of these machinist squares, which has got a nice flat part on it so that you can hopefully set up your extrusions so everything is flat and lined up horizontally and vertically level. Just got that off Amazon. And then I've got the manuals, which this is the official Voron 2.4 manual. But then also note that I'm using an LDO kit. So here is the LDO documentation. This is in particular the build notes FAQ page, and you can see hopefully over here where it has page numbers. These are differences. Because the LDO kit varies a little bit from the strict Voron assembly instructions. All of these notes on pages, there's slight changes that you need to do when you're using an LDO kit. You can see there are quite a few of them. So the first build video I saw, I liked. I only watched the first few episodes, and he had an issue with these angle pieces. They hold the two parts of the extrusion that the bed bolts to the frame, and so these basically get bolted on, not to this piece here specifically, but they get bolted on to that, and then they get bolted down to an extrusion like that, so the bar is going in that direction. And the problem he had was when he put the recommended bolt size in, it was bottoming out on the channel, and so he thought his bolt might have been a little bit longer than necessary. Once I read the LDO instructions, I realized that even though they looked the same, the recess area inside these angle brackets, one is a little bit deeper than the other. And that's so the one that goes into the extrusion has got more material right here where the screw head sits, and that makes it not bottom out. And because he didn't read the LDO addendum page that I just showed, he had mounted it backwards because it's a triangle. It'll work either way, but his screw was bottoming out because he had the wrong end of this facing down. So that was one thing that I noticed when I saw this addendum page. There's quite a few pages where it tells you things are a little bit different with the LDO kit. So that's the kind of stuff that makes me want to make a video when I see things like that, and I see a build online that guy didn't notice that. Somebody pointed it out in the comments, as well as mounting these DIN rails. Once you get the frame done, these are the parts that hold the electronics, and they go in a different orientation than the LDO manual. One of them's horizontal, the other one's vertical. Can't remember which right now because I'm not to that step yet. So yeah, he had those on wrong as well, I believe, until he realized that they were supposed to go the other way for the LDO kit. So I will be following the LDO fact sheet along with the official 2.4 instructions, and I might just do something like this where I show, partial work, and then show when I'm done and say, this is what I've done. I've attached this to that and that to the other, because these videos can be hours long. I mean, this is a long build. Here are the nuts and bolts. I mean, come on. I'm not going to film every single nut and bolt going into every single part. That would be ridiculous. So yeah, just off the bat, I got my nice work table set up. I moved the Prusa. The Prusa printer will sit here, but I realized I need that workroom right now, and so that's a perfect area to have the tablet and have the parts that I'm working on and the little trays and anything else I need while I work here. So again, it's been seen in lots of videos, but LDO kit, really nicely foam wrapped, all the aluminum extrusions, obviously unless you're colorblind. I've gone with the blue anodized, and the first step is these pieces that are threaded on the end. You mount the M5 by 16. Now another piece is going to come down like this, and it has a hole in it that you can access to screw the other extrusion up against this flush. So we're not tightening those, we're just putting them in loose to prep them for the uprights. So yeah, there are a lot of frame pieces. This literally is all of the frame that makes a big cube and has a couple bars on the bottom that the bed sits on. And so I am literally just starting today working on it. And so this is video one of who knows how many, how much I'll show. But there we go. It's beginning. Addendum. At this point, he realized he might be in over his head. This thing is huge. I knew it was huge. I knew the measurements, but until you start building it, you don't realize the measurements. My countertop piece that I thought, oh yeah, that's extra long. It doesn't even need to be that long. It just barely fits. And as soon as you tilt to do something over on this side's off the edge, and this is a beast. I hope I didn't miscalculate by the online measurements about being able to fit the Prusa and this on the same table. There you go. Frame is together. Add this onto the first video. I'm happy with the results. We are looking pretty darn square. on our corners. There might be one or two of them that are off just a hair. Just a hair. But I mean, we're looking pretty good here, I think. I used a trick that I saw online. When you're screwing these together, is to use another piece of extrusion and then hold this piece and this piece kind of together with one hand, and then screw the bolt in with the other, and so this extrusion keeps these two aligned, and then when you're done, slide it along, and if this piece is sticking out this way, you'll hear it clunk and hit it, and you'll know that it moved too far out. So by putting downward pressure on this, downward, and pressure also in this direction, so they're both up against this extrusion with one hand, using your other hand to screw the screw that tightens this piece to this piece, it helps you get the alignment right. So saw that on the build video, and that's what I did, and it worked. So yeah, little addendum. This is if I brought the Prusa in here, I'm sure it would fit completely inside that. That's just wild. But there we go.